Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings, broadcasting live Apple Valley, California.
Science and Technology Channel.
And we are. Yesterday we talked about the Antarctic ice, 1.2 million years old, right? Today we're talking about a 1.3 million year old mammoth. Yeah. A recent genomic study has revealed previously unknown genetic diversity in mammoth lineages that spans more than 1 million years, offering new perspectives on their evolutionary history. Researchers successfully extracted and analyzed 34 new mitochondrial genomes, or mitogenomes, from mammoth specimens, including 11 from the Early and Middle Pleistocene periods, which Scott was talking about yesterday. These specimens range in age from 1.3 million to 125,000 years old. Published in Molecular Biology and Evolution, the study highlights how ancient DNA can be used to explore genetic variation over deep time. Would you like to know more?
Quote, our analysis provide an unprecedented glimpse into how major deep time demographic events might have shaped the genetic diversity of mammoths through time, says Dr. J. Camillo, I think. Chacon Duque, a researcher at the Department of Zoology, Stockholm University, and the Center for Paleogenetics, and the study's lead author.
It's quite a name, huh? Chacon Duque, so it could be Spanish and French.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Most of today's
Spanish and Mexican.
Portuguese? Mexican, okay.
Mexican.
Most of today's biodiversity evolved during the last 2.5 million years. Understanding the evolutionary processes that shape this diversity requires access to genetic information throughout this time frame. Well, we got air and ice from Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
Until now, very few DNA samples have surpassed the 100,000 year threshold due to preservation challenges. Right, because the meat just strips off the bones and whatever.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. By recovering DNA from mammoth specimens spanning over more than 1 million years, this study showcases the importance of temporal sampling in characterizing the evolutionary history of species.
By analyzing these new mitogenomes alongside over 200 previously published mammoth mitogenomes, the researchers were able to find that diversification events across mammoth lineages seem to coincide with well-described demographic changes during the early and middle Pleistocene. Oh yeah, easy for you to say. These findings support an ancient Siberian origin for major mammoth lineages and reveal how shifts in population dynamics might have contributed to the expansion and contraction of distinct genetic clades.
That's interesting. I didn't know they looked at it like that.
So there wasn't just one kind of mammoth. There was many different kinds of mammoths.
Yeah.
Probably some that were more acclimated to a colder climate versus maybe a milder climate, even though the climate was probably still cold. But because they were very hairy, right? They were woolly. They wouldn't be. Yeah, they wouldn't be hanging around. They wouldn't be hanging around a hot desert area. We found bones here. They found bones here a number of years ago.
They were hanging out then.
But back then, this was probably one big ice sheet. Could have been an ice sheet.
Yeah, all those boulders. When you go down the hill and you see all those boulders, that's from glaciers.
Yeah, that's Mormon rocks.
Yeah. With the ever-decreasing cost of sequencing technologies, mitogenomes have been somewhat forgotten. However, our study shows that they remain crucial for evolutionary biology since they are more abundant than nuclear DNA, end quote, said Dr. Jessica A. Thomas Thorpe, researcher at the Wellcome Sanger Genome Institute in Britain and co-first author of the study.
The study not only advances our understanding of mammoth evolution, but also contributes to the broader field of ancient DNA research. The team developed and applied an improved molecular clock dating framework. Refining how genetic data can be used to estimate the ages of specimens beyond the radiocarbon dating limit. The methodological advancement offers a powerful tool for the future research. on extinct and endangered species.
Maybe they'll use them for the dire wolf pups.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Quote, these results add to our earlier work where we reported million-year-old genomes for the first time. I'm very excited that now we have genetic data from many more mammoth specimens sampled across the last million years, which helps us understand how mammoth diversity has changed through time, said senior author Professor Love Dalen at Stockton University and the Center for Paleogenetics.
The study includes 34 newly sequenced mammoth mitogenomes, with 11 dating back over 100,000 years, increasing substantially the number of mammoth DNA samples beyond this time point, pushing the boundaries of ancient DNA research. The team identified the oldest known mammoth DNA in North America from a specimen found in the Old Crow River, Yukon Territory, Canada, and dating more than 200,000 years ago. Their results confirm previous research
from Van der Valk. He's an author.
Van der Valk, 2021, showing that mammoths from around 1 million years ago do not closely resemble later mammoths.
Okay, I wonder what changed. The woolly?
Yeah, maybe it wasn't as cold. The study refines DNA-based methods for estimating the ages of ancient specimens, paving the way for more accurate reconstructions of evolutionary histories. Wow.
By combining cutting-edge molecular techniques with computational advances, this research highlights the critical role of deep-time DNA in uncovering the genetic past of extinct species. Future studies may apply these methodologies to other long-extinct or endangered species, further enriching our understanding of evolutionary biology.
You know, sometimes we kind of make light of these people, these doctors with these long pedigrees and stuff.
The nerds.
But, you know, where would we be without them? Without, you know, if everybody had an interest in something other than the science and technology stuff, well, yeah, we wouldn't have a channel, and people, we wouldn't know about stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so my hat's off to these folks that dedicate their lives and their passion for these tests and research and stuff. I think it's great.
Scott, tell our subscribers what you would do with a mammoth tusk if you found one. What would you do with it?
You know, I'd probably hang it on my wall.
You do that?
I think so.
Dude, you can
But they're huge, right?
It's ivory. You can make some money making chess pieces out of it.
See, I didn't think you could do that, though. I thought that it's like ivory is protected.
Yeah, but they're extinct. They're gone and dead. If you find that tusk.
Yeah, but how would you prove that? How would you prove that it's not an elephant?
It's a mammoth, man. It's a mammoth curly tusk. No,
with my luck, they'd ask for a receipt. They'd want to know. They'd want to know where I got it.
Mammoth chess pieces.
That's the problem with having some kind of a pass in history.
All right, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everyone.